and with a society matron whose hair was also antique silver and who relayed visitors' requests to Vera. As I walked toward it, my visitor stood looking at one of the framed ads hung on the walls. Something I don't like admitting, and which I've learned to disguise, is a shyness about meeting people, and now I felt the familiar slight apprehension and momentary confusion as he turned at the sound of my approaching footsteps. He was bald and short, the top of his head reaching only to my eye level, and I'm an inch short of 6 feet. He looked about 35, I thought, walking toward him, and he was remarkably thick-chested. He'd outweigh me without being fat. He wore an olive green gabardine suit that didn't go with his pink redhead's complexion. I hope he's not a salesman, I thought. Then he smiled as I stepped into the lobby, a real smile, and I liked him instantly and relaxed. Nah, I told myself, he's not selling anything. And I couldn't have been more wrong about that. Mr. Morley? I nodded, smiling back at him. Mr. Simon Morley? He said, as though there might be several of us Morleys here at the agency and he wanted to be certain. Yes. He still wasn't satisfied. Just for fun, do you remember your Army serial number? He took my elbow and began walking me out into the elevator corridor away from the receptionist. I rattled it off. It didn't even occur to me to wonder why I was doing this for a stranger. No questions asked. Right, he said, approvingly, and I felt pleased. We were out in the corridor now, no one else around. Are you from the Army? If so, I don't want any today. He smiled, but didn't answer the question, I noticed. He said, I'm Reuben Preen, and hesitated momentarily, as though I might recognize the name, then continued. I should have phoned and made an appointment, but I'm in a hurry, so I took a chance on dropping in. That's all right. I wasn't doing anything but working. What can I do for you? He grimaced humorously at the difficulty of what he had to say. I've got to have about an hour of your time. Right now, if you can manage it. He looked embarrassed. I'm sorry, but if you could just take me on faith for a little while, I'd appreciate it. I was hooked. He had my interest. All right, it's 10 to 12. Would you like to have lunch? I can leave a little early. Fine, but let's not talk indoors. We could pick up some sandwiches and eat in the park, okay? It's not too cool. Nodding, I said, I'll get my coat and meet you here. You interest me strangely. I stood hesitating, looking closely at this pleasant, tough-looking, bald little man, then said it. As I think you know. Matter of fact, you've been through this whole routine before, haven't you? Complete with embarrassed look. He grinned and made a little finger-snapping motion. And I thought I really had it down. Well, it's back to the mirror and more practice. Get your coat, we're losing time. We walked north on 5th Avenue, past the incredible buildings of glass and steel, glass and enameled metal, glass and marble, and the older ones of more stone than glass. It's a stunning street, and unbelievable. I never get used to it, and I wonder if anyone really does. Is there any other place where an entire cloud bank can be completely reflected in the windows of one wall of only one building, and with room to spare? Today, I especially enjoyed being out on 5th, the temperature in the high 50s, a nice late fall coolness in the air. It was nearly noon, and beautiful girls came dancing out of every office building we passed, and I thought of how regrettable it was that I'd never know or even speak to most of them. The little bald man beside me said, I'll tell you what I come to say to you. Then I'll listen to questions. Maybe I'll even answer some. But everything I can really tell you, I will have said before we reach 56th Street. I've done this 30-odd times now, and never figured out a good way to say it or even sound very sane while trying. So here goes. There's a project, a U.S. government project, I guess you'd have to call it. Secret, naturally, as what isn't in government these days.